Hi. I was waiting for something. I don't know what. Waiting for a streetcar. Hi. Greetings from San Francisco. Psychic Frank's Mystery School is in session. Gabby, yes, darling, come over here. I have a parrot, my beloved companion, Gabby. We've been together 25 years. August. Our anniversary is every August. Yeah, she was 3 or 4, no, 2 or 3 when I adopted her. She was a rescue. Okay, well that's it. And well, we're in San Francisco, and we just today is December Thursday, the 3rd. If you're in San Francisco and get Comcast, you will be seeing this on Saturday, the 5th. So we just had the November eclipse. The November 30th, we had the Gemini full moon lunar eclipse. So eclipse season is here. Big changes, big changes. And actually, uh, I was listening to Pam. No, I listen to Pam Gregory, the astrologer, a lot, but also Kathy Rose, who occasionally, they both write occasionally these days for the Mountain Astrologer, which I have right around here. I started the tape, and oh yeah, they're right in front of me. Okay, uh, yeah, and Kathy Rose was talking about how we're going, and they're all talking about it, but I just happened to listen to Kathy Rose this morning, and she had a nice little take on it. And she goes, yeah, December 21st, circle that day. That's a big day. That's when Jupiter and Saturn conjunct in Aquarius. Every 20 years, we receive a conjunction. That's when they're right exactly like white on rice together, lined up. That's powerful. That's not doesn't happen every day. Every 20 years, we receive a conjunction from Jupiter, the planet of spirituality, expansion, philosophy, wisdom, and Saturn, the structure of your life, the hand of fate. Um, in the old days, I used to call him timer because everything's got to be right on time. Not a moment too soon. Not a you can't go, schmooze up to Saturn and how about letting up on that? Let me have it a little earlier. No, everything is strict. Saturn is known for order. It can be strict. And even when Saturn's you're older and he loves you more, he's harder when you're over until you're under 29. But he turns into fate instead of being not yet. Then when it becomes after you're 29, your life starts. Um, and I'm going towards my third Saturn return at 72. Yeah, every 29 years you get a Saturn return. And at your second Saturn return, if anybody's listening who's 59, that's when your hobbies turn into money making ventures. That's when I started my TV show way back. Yeah, I used to have it when the studio was open. Bayvac SF Commons has this wonderful studio, and I would take calls from the general public and do tarot cards and numerology. I miss that, but I can't. I can't do it out of here. Yeah, I'm working on a painting. I that took a few sessions. I'm waiting to. How can I finish it? It'll be inspired when it does. Oh yeah, so we're going into air. It's all about I've been talking forever. If you've been watching my shows, they're on YouTube or in San Francisco. I've been really uptight with the medical community for getting away with leaving the mind. There's no mind, body, spirit in their procedures, and it's obvious by just watching the TV set, and you get these pharmaceutical ads, and if you'll know exactly when medicine gets the message, because these pharmaceutical ads will change greatly. You won't hear actors say, "My schizophrenia" or "My bipolar" or "My cancer." That's a big one. Eczema now. Oh yeah, I see a lot of ads for people. Well, it's what if these pharmaceutical ads say, if you've got these skin things, eczema, I think it's called, um, work on affirming that it's all right to be in your own skin. Anything going on with your skin, skin contains your individuality. It's our biggest organ, I think, a vital organ there. So every now and then I start itching. Yeah, I got itchy because I'm itching my feet because I'm itching to get going. I want to get on. I want to get on with things. This is it. This is it now. It's just not the way I thought it would be. So every 20 years, that's an understatement. Huh? Every 20 years, we receive a conjunction from Jupiter and Saturn. Approximately every 200 years, these conjunctions shift from one element to another. On the winter solstice, December 21st, as I said, that's going to be on the Monday. While Bayvac will be out of town, I think they close that Christmas week, and I might have to have my next show in by that before that date. If I don't, I will definitely like to do a show on the 22nd, but I believe Bayvac will be closed that whole week, so I'll do another show probably on the 18th, 2 weeks from today, and then I guess in February we'll all have stories to tell about it. Oh, this will be momentous. It'll be affecting culturally, individually, personally. Look for where Aquarius is on your chart. And you know, Chericlo, Chiron's wife, is they were married 900 years, and she provides a sacred space for you. So look for to where 26 Capricorn is on your chart, because late Capricorn is where everything is now. I mean, as I said, in a few weeks, Jupiter and Saturn leave late Capricorn and enter early Aquarius, but Pluto not for a couple of years. But right now, between this Aquarius, Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto, and is Chiron, Chericlo, and she's, as I said, Chiron's wife. Chiron, the wounded healer, by the way. So Chiron's in Aries now. Look for, well, let's see, where is Chiron? On December 14th, Chiron will be 4 degrees Aries. Chiron's retrograde. Neptune just went direct 18 Pisces, spirituality day. We'll talk about that. Okay, we had a little break in 81 for like until 2000. We had Libra. So we had a little break, but that's a massive, almost 200 years of Earth. Male domination, bureaucratic rule. No. A lot of people fell through the cracks and are falling through the cracks as we speak. Many people now who never dreamt they'd be on food lines have fallen through the cracks. Well, welcome to our world, maybe this will, I'm not going to say maybe, because things are going to change now. As I said just last month, or was it, it was so, I can't even get chronologically straight. It was a couple of months ago or a month ago or so when the fires were going on in Northern California. San Francisco had no sun. It was 2 days. It was this murky orange. It wasn't even a pretty orange. It was like that Donald Trump sicky orange, and tangy orange. Now tangy isn't a better color. Tang was this drink the astronauts took to the moon way back when I was a kid. And it's gotta shake that all off. Just shake that all off. There was no sun. I was like, I looked at the clock and it said 11 o'clock, and I actually couldn't remember if it was AM or PM. And I said, wow, this is, I mean, anybody with a brain who meditated on what was going on, it was obvious the universe was giving us a taste of what a nuclear winter will look like. Only, I don't know who will even survive it, but, this whole thing about glamorizing life on Mars by these people with lot more money than no brains. This Musk person, this Elon, I don't even know his name, but I mean, he says we're going to be walking on Mars. We don't like wind. We don't like out of control weather on this planet right here. We want it always balmy. Right now, we're getting a taste of what Mars was like towards the end when it was an Earth, and the same thing with Venus. All these, I think, were once. There was no Big Bang, by the way. Oh yeah, so this is what's going on. Yeah, revolutionaries now. It's all mental. It's all going to be cerebral now. We're gonna be seeing, as I said earlier, waves of disclosure through the rest of this year, breaking down the old in orders of the green shoots to come up. This 30th of November, we just went through the hardest part of the birthing canal, and giving birth to this dawning of the age of Aquarius. So already, more and more. Well, as I said, was this Sheldrake, Rupert Sheldrake. I think he's British or Australian. Anyway, he got thrown off of TED 10 years ago for talking about how the Big Bang Theory was a hoax. It was just a theory, an obscure theory. His whole thing is give us one miracle and we'll fill in the rest. Give us that Big Bang and we'll give you we'll fill in the rest. But it never happened. We're finding stars in our galaxy now that predate the Big Bang Theory. And it was in 1927, around the time Hubble discovered the planet Uranus. I said this on my last show, but it's worth repeating. A priest came up with the Big Bang assumption. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. I have a sign that says it, but it's way up there, and I don't want to climb up and get it. I'm wearing pants, by the way. A lot of people aren't. I hear people on TV. I was watching the news this morning, and no, I dress. This is me dressing. This is how I do it. Oh yes, Gabby. So much I want to cover today. Let me get centered here. Okay, so Rudy the fruitcake, nuttier than a fruitcake. Rudy Giuliani. Nobody can. It's as I said, people are understanding now that he's got 40 something more days that he is ginning up. He wants a murder. He wants someone to get knocked off. He knows exactly. He's ginning up these people with weapons, and they want to. I'll say so. Just as I was looking to start this show, that's the hardest part, is getting going. It said people who want a cure, provided they can have it without pain, are like those who favor progress, provided they can have it without change. Change is not a bad thing. Not for a cure, that's painful. For relief. Yeah, we just always want relief. See, what's happening? I have a chart. I just happen to have a chart here for December 21st, and the numerology for December 21st, 1221, is 6, and we add that to not 6, 6, and then we add that to 5, and we get 11. So 2021 is a 5 year. We're going from a 22 master year. You don't want to reduce 11, 22, 33, 44 to single digits. You want to keep them elevated. So 22 was a year of making it real. So we got still this making it real energy going on. But then we get this universal energy of 6 and 5 is 11. And we get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We get a new beginnings. If we reduce 2020 to 22 to 4, we could do it for math. These rules aren't written in the numerology. Please go to Oregon, come out and summons me. Okay, so for the sake of math, 1221 is 6. 6 and 4 is 1. So we get new beginnings on an auspicious day. That's important. And if we add 6, our day and month, the day and month 6 to 5, we get 11. So we get wisdom, wisdom, new beginnings in a make it real year. And then a lot of you people, you old souls, go from spring to spring. Your soul is not buying for one iota that January 1st is the new year. Who ever heard of the new year in the middle of the dead of winter? No, spring is the traditional new year. So what happens is, when in Rome, do as the Romans. When we do the numerology change January 1st, our numerology changes. Like America's going into a 7-year. We're leaving a 6-year. July 4th is 11. So 7 and 4 is 11, or 2. And then 2 and 5, because 2021 is 5, is 7. 7. We're going into a wisdom year, and as I said, wisdom doesn't good. I've been doing this pretty much 40 years, going on close to 40 years, and personally and working with people, nobody throws uh, confetti in the air, dancing around, saying, "Oh, my 7 years here." And yeah, it's a mystical year. Excuse me. Especially now, a lot of us are opening up. Are making things real for ourselves, and that doesn't mean, in spite of all this, some people are actually, doing okay. The techies are, I guess, and these billionaires. I mean, this 1% of, I guess this that's got to change. This large event, everybody's calling it the biggest event in 200, is going to affect the next 200 years. The two planets begin their 20-year cycle in a new element, air. There was that brief 20 years when you're talking about a 200-year span. 20 years is just a little bit. When we had Libra, we had like 20 years of 81 to 2000, when everything was in, all those heavy planets were in Aquarius, or were in Libra. So that's good to know. So now we're beginning a new and very important era where we have emphasis on the intellect. Now Al Gore can make us come back. The power of the body, mind, spirit connection to the air sign energy flows. Yeah, along with hope. No medical community just isn't taking that connection. Words, thoughts are cell tissue. Well, hi, Gabby. Did you come over here to say hello? Hey, hi. Gabby, you're on TV. So who's that pretty bird? Yeah, that's you. You're a good-looking chick, honey. I knew she'd come over. I knew I wanted her to do this last time, but of course it's got to be... Words matter. Science will finally be able to explain and measure the power of our words and thoughts. We live in a multidimensional universe. I love my favorite affirmation, if you got a pencil handy. I am an unlimited being, accepting from an unlimited universe in an unlimited way. Breathe that in. Own it. People used to call the show and say, well, I did a few affirmations, Frank. No, try 500. When you're introducing a new thought pattern, into your subconscious, 1 or 2 affirmations isn't going to do it. You got to, as I said, you got to release, in doing your affirmations, you got to release a lot of negative illusions that have authority over you. A lot of people like Donald Trump read that guy on Positive Thinking, I forget his name, back, Nixon, everybody, he was a big thing, I forget his name. Well, these people, really, I was upset because when I teach affirmations, I accept people to accept a healing crisis. Like I could vouch for it. Well, I used to hear my mentor, Louise Hay, may she rest in peace, talk about, and it's true because I've experienced the same thing. When you work with someone, you spend an hour or so with someone, right, Gabby? Yeah. When you spend an hour with someone, she's going to attack me any second, and then you really feel like you've gotten somewhere with them. You shifted some things, you've pulled in some illusions for them, you've empowered them, and then you see them a month or so later, and you say, hey, how's everything? And they go, oh, same old, and then you smile and walk away, and then you say to yourself, wow, didn't take. And then same kind of thing happens. You work on someone, and then a week or 2 later, they call you. Oh my God, I lost my job. I'm being transferred to New Zealand, or blah 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 blah. My husband's left me for a young woman. My husband, whatever, And I go, oh, okay, it's working. Come on, let's come in. I'm not condoning. Of course, I don't want to see people go through, especially these kids and I want everybody to, have the happy ending, but I also believe that the more it hurts, the bigger the gift. I don't believe in any just random events. I don't believe in random events. We're going to get to that. Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about this on my last show. A merry heart doth good like medicine. like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. King Solomon's Proverbs 17:22. And that's what medicine does today. They break spirits. When you're walking down the street in San Francisco, well, now not many people are doing it, but you're walking over the now. Oh my God, the homeless encampments. You're walking over like winos and drug addicts. Remind yourself. These pictures Norman Rockwell forgot to paint. You know, these are people with broken spirits. This is what happens to broken spirits. This is what becomes of the brokenhearted. A lot of my shows, I said Carl Jung, who I adore, rest his soul, was a real influence in my life. I won't get into that. It was the only comfort in my life way back in the 70s, and I would. It rains a lot in Hilo, and I would, on rainy days, get stoned on a little cannabis and go to the public library with a cup of coffee and read Carl Jung for hours and hours. They had shutters on the window, and the tropical breeze would swing by. And I remember I was like in my early 20s thinking, God, life is wonderful. But then a couple years later, I got rock fever. I said, I'm too young to be here in paradise. Carl Jung said, show me a sane person, I'll cure him for you. And I wasn't assuming, but I wanted to like whet your spirit. You know, I wondered if you pondered that. Do you think it was just me passing brain gas? You know, that's a beautiful saying, and I'm going to explain it now. Yeah, show me a sane person, and I'll cure him for you. Be silent and listen. This is Carl Jung. Have you recognized your madness? And where is she? Oh, there you are. Okay, honey. Yeah, keep it down, sweetheart. Be silent and listen. Have you recognized your madness? Do you admit it? Have you noticed that all your foundations are completely mired in madness? Do you want to recognize your madness and welcome it in a friendly manner? Do you want to accept it, accepting everything? Do you accept madness too? Let the light of your madness shine, and it will suddenly dawn on you. Madness is not to be despised and not to be feared, but instead you should give it life. If you want to find paths, you should also not spur madness, since it makes up such a great part of your nature. Be glad that you can recognize it, for you will thus become its. Otherwise, you will thus become. You will avoid becoming its victim. It was covered up by the metal there. You will avoid becoming its victim. Madness is a special form of the spirit and clings to all teachings and philosophies, but even more to daily life, since life daily itself is full of craziness and at bottom utterly illogical. If we got anybody that sees nuclear disarmament as not right up there with planet, people, profit way at the end while we're going through this big change. We got to also keep in mind, like, this denuclearization, the guns thing. That's all for military. That's all for military. What you call knowledge is an attempt to impose something comprehensible on life. Then he says, yes, so the winter solstice gives events strength, joins together. So universally, as I said, we get this 7-month, January 7. See, so 12, 21 is 6, 6 and 1 is 7. So I knew there was that wisdom in there somewhere. And 11 is all about revelations, lightning flashes of revelations. And for the United States of America, this is all happening on our this Aquarius energy is happening on our our moon is in Aquarius. That's interesting. 27. No, in our money house. Oh yeah, we're Saturn's already been in our Pluto, so that's the breaking down of the old order. The blacks people of color totally cut out of the financial picture. There was a thing years ago on Saturday Night Live where Eddie Murphy painted whiteface, and went into a bank and got all the money. The bank president says, "Oh yeah," he tells this black guy he's got nothing to give him, and then he thinks Eddie Murphy's a white guy, and he comes in and it's this whole white guy club. And sure, take it, forget about paying us back, you know. It's not funny, but it's, as I said, it is in a sick way because it's changing now, as we could see. Mitch McConnell is the last. They saved the very, very worst for last. God, he's a wicked, wicked man. It's totally no conscience whatsoever, you know. Just, I mean, you know, these people get enjoyment out of seeing people suffer. The sadness, the cruelty is the point. The Stephen Millers, these are all, and I'm not, you know, I'm honest as can be. I'm habitually honest. They're all, most of them, reincarnated Nazis. Their last incarnation was Nazis. And remember, it only took 4 years for Hitler to win over the Nazi parties. I said it, and it's worth repeating. You see the old newsreel of that period, and you see all, as far as the camera can see to the horizon, people, masses, millions and millions, literally a million, thousands, probably millions of people, all crazy about the Fury. That happened in 4 years. We came real. I don't think it. Well, as I said, it's over. Hindsight being 2020. I hope we all can see now, and as more and more. I believe some event can have all the astrologers. Oh yeah, that's another thing. This America's, making a mockery of anybody mentioning extraterrestrials. And Hawking, that crippled, God for sick man. Well, he's dead now. He lived in a very scary place, and in his world, which is science. Science has he's it. Along with the Big Bang Theory people, they mock people like me, and they put like Hawking's as God. He says, if extraterrestrials exist, they exist for one reason only: to eat us. To eat us. That's what I said. You heard correctly. What an ego, you know? Consider the source, people. When you're hearing this stuff, who's delivering this message? And what do they look like, you know? Well, if this stuff looks so great, why do you look like crap? You know? What happened to you? What do you... Yeah, I believe we're doing two things. We're either paying back karma or working on new karma, you know? So hopefully I paid back a lot of rough karma. And anyway, oh yeah, that's the worst thing, you know, when you realize, wow, you know, Donald Trump and all these people, they're, if they ever get another incarnation, it'll be as roadkill. I don't know. You know, they're throwing this life away. I just don't get it. You know, I don't want to get it. You know, I don't want an answer to that. I just non-cooperation with evil is as much a duty as cooperation with good. Oh yeah, so listen to what Pam Gregory and Kathy Rose have to say about, or anybody, get on a computer and Google up YouTube videos about, about, excuse me, well, the Jupiter Saturn conjunction in Aquarius. And here I have last month's Mountain Astrologer, and Pan Youngham's wrote here, for the past 200 years, the Jupiter-Saturn cycle has mostly been seated in Earth signs, with the exceptions of 1821 Aries Fire and 1980-81 Brief Air. So it wasn't 20 years. Earth signs tend to move methodically to build on existing foundations. The Jupiter-Saturn synodic cycle of 220 will take its first breath of air sign, and very reform-oriented air sign at that. Aquarius, yeah, that's the water bear. Is that interesting? But genius flashes. And psychic abilities. Yeah, we're all born with them. The last time Jupiter and Saturn aligned in revolutionary Aquarius was on January 7th, 1405. The 1400s are considered the final century of the Middle Ages, as Wikipedia article explains. The 15th century is seen as the bridge between the late Middle Ages, the early Renaissance, and the modern early period. A lot of what we're doing now is all Descartes and all those people said animals screaming during dissections was like the squeaking of a wheel with their screaming and pain. He said they don't feel pain. That's just the wheel squeaking. Psycho. Um, in retrospect, be seen as heralding the European miracle the following centuries. We wonder and hope history might look back at the early 2020s uh, in a similar way. Adding to the impact of the Jupiter Saturn alignment, December 2020 is that of their tightest conjunction since 1623, because the two planets are also parallel in declination. The 2020 alignment also initiates a long period of synodic synodic elements of the cycle shifts again when Jupiter and Saturn align in Scorpio, a water sign. Amidst this potential for evolutionary gains as preceded by Jupiter and Saturn, upheavals continue to nip at our heels through the end of 2020. Angry Mars conjoins reactive Aries in Aries and then squares domineering Pluto in December 22nd and 23rd, respectively. But anchoring the higher intentions of Jupiter Saturn, the two social planets are paralleled by declaration on December 25th, anointing the Christmas holiday with a commitment to a new future we can believe in. Yeah, so any Mexicans all over Peru. Shirley MacLaine, way back in the '80s, wrote her books "Out on a Limb" and all that about. It blew her mind when she stayed a while in Peru, high up in Peru, where the locals are not blown away by seeing extraterrestrial saucers flying around. Uh, I've had so many people who are saying, so yeah, we're all got some kind of craziness. Of course, I'm not condoning today, that little voice that tells you to step in front of a moving vehicle. No, that's not the voice. We all know, we're not BSing ourselves here. I think a lot of people died just to prove to me that I was wrong. Because they didn't want to. They had so much invested in whatever had them down. Like, don't you mess with my wounds. That's mine. I'll say when we get rid of it. It ain't going to be by you. You're not going to facilitate it. It's like, okay. They don't say it like that, but in their actions, I don't take it personally, because I know that everybody I work with, like they say when two chemicals are introduced to each other, if there's any kind of reaction, both are permanently changed. So, I was saying, I don't know how you say the word IATROGNIC illness. Illness is due to medical treatment. 936,000. And this was 10 years ago. Yeah, we're missing the whole point now. And as I said, it's hard to watch TV for entertainment, and then in between your entertainment, you get these pharmaceutical ads. Literally, anybody with half a brain knows it's murder. They're, and as I said, repeatedly, get you to own whatever it is, because they don't want you to get cured. Because if there's a cure, there's no money in a cure for these guys. They're totally despicable people, and if that, the running, I scream when they say the disease is running its course. Welcome to my world. There are no courses there, Well, isn't that interesting? Because Mars will be direct 23 Aries on this conjunction there. So, yeah, he's. And as I said, the inauguration, as I said, even the Republicans who once supported Donald Trump are saying the way he's doing it now, he really is asking for murder. He's asking somebody to, yeah, there's no guessing that the GOP, he didn't, revolutionize the GOP. He just got them out. He just exposed them for what they've been. I put something interesting here about, yeah, LBJ. I lived through the LBJ years, and LBJ said, yeah, this LB, yeah, it says, if you could convince, this is actually true words, LBJ, who actually, before he became the beloved racial act signer there, the civil rights movement hero, right after JFK. See, it took JFK for him to sign the civil rights movement thing, which, wasn't worth paper now. But, yeah, it was a big thing. He was a terrible person towards blacks. He was sadistic to them, and then so he had a spiritual awakening or something. But it just says people can change. Leopards can change, So his exact statement was, for word now, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. See, Donald Trump isn't as crazy as you think. He knew this. He was around. He's as old as I am. He's 2 years older than me, and he knew this. He knew this. Yeah. Donald didn't. He exposed the GOP. He didn't transform it. They were exactly. He just now they're all exposed. Suddenly they found themselves exposed. And most of them are treasonous now. They're actually using the word treason. And if you had said the word treason 4 years ago, people would call you un-American. Give the man a chance. He's only been in office a couple of days. And already he had Russians. He's just, as I said, it was like flash and grab, whatever it is, it's just boom, 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 boom. 4 years of not one relentless, Donald Relentless Trump. His middle name is John. Yeah, when your whole life is around prostitutes, you gotta name you John. Both Alfred Adler and Rollo May noted we each develop a guiding fiction or a myth of ourselves as early as 2 years of age. See, so what happened to Donald? What about Donald, huh? It happened at 2 years of age, He's a hurt, crying, sniffling bully, and I would just, if I was him, I'd come clean right now and throw myself on the mercy of the court. A lot of people are worried that somehow Joe Biden's going to federally release him from all federal crimes. He's got state crimes Joe Biden can't do nothing about. So he knows he's going to prison. I think, like most cowards, he'll kill himself. Hitler had cyanide tablets sewn into certain garments, because he never knew. He knew, most cowards will, kill themselves as the ultimate act of. I'll show them. Nixon, they won't have Nixon to kick around anymore. Nixon was a Boy Scout compared to Donald Trump. Yeah, right. I was listening to Standing in the Shadows of Love. Yeah, poor little rich kid. Years ago, not too long ago, this rich kid got away with murder. Affluenza. And he got away with it. That's actually a condition because he was born affluent, and therefore he didn't know enough. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a lawyer trying to get him out of prison. Omar Bradley. I've got 10 more minutes of the show to do, okay? I'll come down for you in 10 minutes. Bye. Okay, so Omar Bradley said, "This world has achieved brilliance without conscience. Ours is a world of nuclear giants and ethical infants. We know more about war than we know about peace, more about killing than we know about living. If we continue to develop our technology without wisdom or prudence, our servant may prove to be our executioner. We scientists don't know how to do that. I used to think the top environmental challenges were biodiversity, loss of ecosystem collapse, climate change. I thought that with 30 years of good science, we could address those challenges, but I was wrong, the scientist says. Top environmental problems are selfishness, greed, and apathy. We've totally overthunk. We overthink things, you know. Everybody's into this clever conversation, yada, 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 yada. Dig where you're at and get some gratitude going for seeing the light, you know, and start changing your ways. You know, we keep saming when we ought to be a changing. Top environmental problems are so, and to deal with them, those we need a spiritual and cultural transformation, and we don't know how to do that. Well, we can start by standing up to the latest reincarnation of Carl Sagan, that bad person who hated psychics and totally is Neil deGrasse Tyson. Somebody say to him, you know, quit. You're making an ass of us by making us assume that the Big Bang Theory happened. And throw that questions at him. How do you explain the star in our galaxy older than the Big Bang? How do you explain it was a Christian priest who came up with the whole? You know, why don't we ask these people these questions? You know, you got, you know, that's the insanity. You know, I don't want to say, like I was thinking earlier, you know, it's come to me years ago, you know, it's been scientifically proven that, you know, giving birth is really hard because people are putting off even conceiving through fertilization. Embryos can be thawed for like 26, 30 years, the whole thing, so they can become children really, really late in life. When women are at their most peak fertile is 14. Now, I'm not a pedophile, but I'm just saying, men are at their most fertile. They don't need any kind of drugs. But why aren't we taught? Why do we, like, as kids, I was growing up, we referred to it as down there. You know, people with cancer, you know, or you know, my age bracket would taught like, you don't even touch down there. You know, it's down there is bad. You know, what was it? Bill Clinton had a woman of color as Secretary of Health. Uh, and she mentioned masturbation would be a wonderful thing. Oh my God, they crucified her. They literally, I think she had to resign. She had to walk away in shame. Masturbation, it relieves headaches, migraines. The sign of the first sign of a migraine, it stifles psychic energy. Masturbate. You know, masturbation can be fun. You know, you'll discover that as you get older and you live through the AIDS crisis. And you're your own best lover. You'll find out in eternity eventually after I don't know how many incarnations. That's why I have Shiva. Om Shiva. Shiva. Here he is doing a day. This is the ring of fire. And Shiva's dancing on this ignorance. See this little dwarf? He's dancing on his head. This little dwarf is the illusion which leads mankind astray. See, so these illusions are being destroyed now. Excuse me. Om Shiva. See, Western culture has nothing like Shiva dancing through this time of eternity, you know, where time is totally cyclic. It's not linear. That's Shiva. You know, we have nothing in our world. Everything is, well, miracles don't happen anymore. That's how it used to be. No, miracles happen every day once you turn your conscious into not trying to get there and realizing the journey is the destination. Am I having fun yet? Okay, let me shuffle the cards and see what I got for you all. What do you all need to know? So we only have a few more minutes left here. Oh, Mani Padme Om. Thank you. Okay. Our consciousness there's hope. All the chakras have been purified. We're coming out of the dark night of the soul. We've got 1 foot firmly in the subconscious, 1 foot firmly on the earth. You know, Carl Jung said that when you're faced with a difficult problem or a challenge, and you're stumped, you hit a wall, do something entirely different. Get your hands busy. Create a painting. Knit a sweater. Do a mosaic. Play with your barrett. Do something. Clean the floors. You know, keep your hands busy, and the mind will all say click, 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 click. things just happen there. It's a beautiful card to meditate on. Beautiful card to meditate on. This hope star, beautiful. And that's what science doesn't want you to know. They teach medical school. Hope is cruel at this stage. We don't give hope, no. They're with you the whole course of the disease. And then when you're ready to leave, no, hope is cruel. Well, why didn't you tell me that? God, so many people have called me when it was, too late, and a lot of them, get it. And then immediately the body will spring right back. So there's, as long as you're breathing, there's hope. Yeah, so this was unseen forces behind the scenes at work now. I tell you, once you get those neurotransmitters going down the fifth dimension cylinders, that's in the total love connection and open mind, wake up teachable, realize everything we learned was BS, and that, and like, as I named three today, extraterrestrials are our friends. They exist. Ask anybody in Mexico, South of Central America. Medicine is totally leaving mind out of and kids are dying. Babies, people are dying because they're surrounded, totally ignored the mental condition of everybody involved. Cancer, I learned a long time ago during the AIDS condition, it's a family thing. You can't just, you got to get the mother, the father, the whole family sitting there. It's like at a rehab, addictions are family. Nobody becomes an addict by themselves. They've got to have enablers. There's a whole dynamics about. We got to get the same thought into everyday diseases and stop empowering them. And then there's a song by CeeLo Green, aka Gnarls Barkley. I think I'm crazy. Possibly, this craziness, your own little crazy thing, and they won't let you be your crazy thing. This black guy got shot for dancing in the street, no guns, no nothing, because they called he was mentally challenged. Can't even, it's open season on black people now. Let's hope it changes, Okay, swiftness now. Things are going to start accelerating. Get ready. This is the end. As I said earlier, Saturn's nothing before its time. Well, it's time. I'll do a syllable. Just like we know all these diseases that are contagious, highly contagious. Well, enthusiasm is contagious. Be a carrier. The world's just friends we haven't met yet. You're doing it alone. Angels cannot intervene in our life unless we give them permission to. So get into the habit of, angels, take care of this, please. No human can. I believe the Blessed Mother. I'm a spiritualist. I deal with all denominations. The Queen of the Angels, I see. She is the ultimate therapist, and she can deal with mentally ill people, or people who think they're mentally ill. This is a gift now. These all Hebrew yards, unseen matter coming in. It's all love. This is the final frontier now. Love is it. Unconditional love. We say we love each other, but yet we live with people we fear more than despise, because with children we can't control, jobs we hate, 5 or 6 jobs we still have to be on food stamps, and yet we're gonna all wake up now. Yeah, I could have had a V8, that kind of thing. We're all waking up now, and they say, well, what if they threw a war and nobody shows up? Well, Joe Biden's got all the right people. Yeah, these knights have quest. Growing old is a privilege denied to many. And if you watch TV, man, they just affirm all the negative stuff. I'm working on my 3rd Saturn return. Every 29 years, you get a Saturn return. My everything I'm doing here started at Bayvac right at my 1st Saturn return, 2nd Saturn return. I was 59, and now, as I said, I found what I'm good at. Pam Gregory is a great astrologer. One of my friends and fan of the show said, "Frank, she's you without the parrot." Yeah, it's going to be, the long picture they're telling me is it's going to be 2 years from now. It's going to be February of 2022. That's when we're having our Pluto return. In the meantime, don't fall, don't praise these people, call them idiots. This guy who's built, the billions of dollars NASA's spending on, we're as far out of space as we are ever going to get. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And then when you hear these people, all these assumptions they're making are all, how we're going to, what's going to happen is the more we start cleaning up Earth, we're going to prove through our actions our worthiness of being acknowledged. Oh, believe me, they know everything we're doing. And it's not that we all should be paranoid, but no, I mean, they're so advanced. I mean, we're like, embarrassingly like a kid, a little shit-ass punk who think he knows everything. That's us. That's Americans. We know everything, What kill you? Our invisible friend is more valuable, more powerful than your invisible friend, I mean, really, that's what they say. My God is, instead of like, all roads lead to Rome, And if you're in a religion that says women are secondary citizens, gays should be murdered, you're in a cult. Pass it on, honey. You're not in a religion. You need to be going where the Moonies went. You need to be deprogrammed, honey. Somebody bought you. Well, my father thought like that. His father taught him that way. Well, the whole clan was sick. Well, anyway, don't dance around wounds. Make some good trouble. That's making some good trouble. I know, I mentioned the other day somebody I had an experience, and they came for a session and they didn't tape it. Some of the best experiences I've ever had was not so much the psychic experience with the psychic in person. It was when I left and I got the tape and played it a month or two later, and I heard things I never even heard with that person. And once a woman called me from her car and said, "Hey Frank, I just opened the glove compartment and found this tape that you made for me a couple of years ago, and I listened to the whole hour of it, and everything you said came to pass." And I went, "Wow, for real. I love you, and I'll be back in 2 weeks. Namaste. Thanks for putting up with my best friend Gabby. Yeah, there's a time for everything. Being a hermit now, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Get into it, man." I love you. Thank you.